Hello and welcome to Conquering Alba, where we take you to the historical places that helped make Scotland what it is today. Today we continue our visit with part 2 of Dean Castle.
Nicht emotion, so my mind mischiefs. What uncouth care through all my corpse doth creep. What restless rage my reason so bereaves. What makes me loathe me. In a garden so green, in a wee morning, heard I my lady plead of power. Eyes of springs, I do
The
After the Boyd family, who owned Dean Castle, the castle was inherited in 1899 by the 8th Lord Howard de Walden, Thomas Evelyn Ellis. He spent many years restoring the castle, as it had suffered over 2 centuries of neglect after being gutted by a fire in 1735.
William Boyd's father fought on the government side during the Jacobite Rising of 1750, but William changed his allegiances and fought for Prince Charles Edward Stuart, Bonnie Prince Charlie, in the 1745 uprising.
The restoration of the keep was completed in 1908 and the palace in the 1930s. Lord Howard de Walden was a man of many talents, and he wrote books and plays and had other keen interest in music and art. His other passions included horse racing, both as an owner and a breeder. There was also fencing, where he was a reserve for the Olympic team in 1906. He collected some of the country's finest collections of swords, weapons and armour, which are still housed here within Dean Castle.
And strove to restore it to its former splendour. It was 1975 when Dean Castle was eventually gifted to the people of Kilmarnock. They made this castle their home. Sir Robert Boyd acted as second in command in Wallace during the fight for Scottish independence. Following Wallace's death, he became one of the first supporters of Robert Bruce. He dedicated critical to one of the Scots army at the Battle of Bannockburn, and for his bravery, Bruce rewarded him generously with these lands in Kilmarnock and Westcombe. It is thought that his descendant, Thomas, built the keep here, the first part of the castle to be constructed around 1350, as a reward for their support of King James II of Scotland. Sir Robert was granted the title Lord Boyd. Following the death of James II in 1460, Lord Boyd assumed the guardianship of the elder-age King James III in 1460. was summoned before the King in Parliament and executed for treason, and the estate was seized by the Crown. Leaving the security of the Crown, many people of Scots restored the Royal County of the estates. Consequently, the French Lord was also alongside the Battle of Lanside in 1468. He was entrusted to Ireland and visited particularly the Lord of the prison of England following the
Lord Howard de Walden was married to Margaretha van Raalte, the daughter of a Jewish Dutch immigrant, Charles van Raalte. who is responsible for the finest collection of historical music instruments anywhere in Europe. This collection is also housed within Dean Castle. Lord Howard de Walden and his wife spent a lot of time at their Scottish home and chose to be buried here as Lord Howard de Walden's mother. He died in 1946 and was succeeded by his son, the Right Honourable John Osmail Scott Ellis, as the 9th Lord Howard de Walden and Seaford. In 1974, he gifted the castle and its collections to the people of Kilmarnock, and in 1976 the castle was opened to the public. The collections of the arms and armour, historical musical instruments and tapestries are some of the finest anywhere within Europe. In 1735, it was in here at the kitchen of the palace that a fire accidentally started. The fire then spread onto the thatched roof, where it was spread onto the roof of the keep. The castle was in complete ruin after this in almost 2 centuries of neglect, although some of the buildings always remained in use. The resident of the castle, William Boyd, 4th Earl of Kilmarnock, had financial problems and could not afford the repair of the castle. The castle was sold by James Boyd in 1746 and the estates changed hands many times. That is when the 8th Lord Howard de Walden inherited the castle and he began its restoration. He completed the keep in 1908 and completed the restoration of the palace in 1946. The palace was mainly designed for comfort. On the ground floor of the palace was the kitchen with a large fireplace and oven. The first floor has the banqueting hall, and above in the second hall had bedrooms for the family. The original staircase leading up to the first floor was a wooden one, which ran up the outside of the building. However, due to wet climate, a stone staircase was later added inside the palace. Defence was not ignored in the construction of the palace. The tower has projecting battlements, and Lord Boy's private apartments were inside. This tower was also known as the Low Tower. Although high, it is lower than the keep. Also, the courtyard was protected by a high wall, which was called the Barnkin. This protected the various other buildings housed within the courtyard, such as the stables, stores, and blacksmiths. The collection of the historical musical instruments are cared for by the East Ayrshire Leisure Trust on behalf of East Ayrshire Council. It features lutes, guitars, harpsichords, recorders, pianos, and harps, and boasts one of the earliest violins in existence, an English Renaissance violin made by the Bassano family, which dates from between 1550 and 1580. The significance and quality of some of the musical instruments have been compared to those found in the Metropolitan Museum in New York and the Smithsonian Institution within Washington, D.C. However, to see the latest recognised collection of national significance, you only need to go as far as here in Kilmarnock at Dean Castle. We hope you have enjoyed today's video here at Dean Castle. It is filled with lots of history, its arms and armour, its musical instruments, and it is also surrounded by a beautiful country park, and it is definitely worth the visit. If you wish to see more of Scotland's historical places, please like and subscribe for more, and until next time, Alba go bra.